This is Matador News, and here are today's headlines. President Trump warns world leaders at the UN the U.S. can totally destroy North Korea if it has to. And how bad is your addiction to pumpkin spice?
Hello, and welcome to Matador News. I'm Jesyka Dunn.
And I'm Lupe Castro. We are just getting reports of a magnitude 7.1 earthquake striking central Mexico. Residents of Mexico City report swaying buildings, but it's too early for any reports of damages or injuries. Mexico's seismological agency says the epicenter was 40 miles from the capital city. The earthquake hits on the anniversary of a 1985 quake that caused major damage.
President Trump threatens to destroy North Korea during his speech to the United Nations. Trump says he is putting America first and is not hesitant to defend the U.S.
The United States has great strength and patience, but if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea.
Trump says it is against the interest of the world for North Korea to obtain missiles and nuclear weapons. He says he's outraged that some nations continue to trade with and support North Korea. In his address, Trump also declared Iran a rogue nation. Trump went on to criticize the Obama-era Iranian nuclear deal.
The Iran deal was one of the worst and most one-sided transactions the United States has ever entered into.
Trump suggested the U.S. may abandon the 2015 deal. The president is in the New York City for 72nd Annual UN General Assembly.
Rhode Island will pay for Dreamers to renew their DACA status. The state will cover the $495 application fee for all state DACA recipients who are eligible to reapply to the program. The Rhode Island Foundation has received more than $170,000 from local and national donors to cover DACA renewal fees. President Trump gave Dreamers whose DACA permits expire before March 5th of 2018 until October 5th of 2017 to apply for a renewal. Those permits will remain valid for another 2 years.
The Board of Trustees are meeting today in Long Beach regarding budget gaps. If the CSUs do not receive the funding they need, a possible tuition increase will take place. Some CSUN students say they are not pleased with the idea.
For me, that just means my financial aid does not cover as much, and that my family and I have to pay more out of pocket. That's just kind of hard on them and me.
I really had to start thinking about how I was going to manage my money more, so I would be able to have the money I needed for that tuition fee, as well as keep my other funds in check.
It will really drain students here. We're all here for the same purpose, to get education, to further our careers and do better for ourselves. So I feel like raising it will only kind of stress us out and struggle more. I know at the end of the day, we'll probably come up with the money because we got to go to school. But I do feel like it is a new sum. It will be stressful, and it would kind of affect our academics in a way if we're worried about money,
Students had to pay a 5% tuition hike this year. It was the first increase mandated by the Cal State Trustees since 2010. The number of applicants continues to outpace state support and campus capacity. Trustees will vote today to see if another increase will take place. Back to Lupe in the studio.
Hurricane Maria hits Dominica with widespread devastation as it makes its way towards St. Croix and threatens catastrophic damage to Puerto Rico. The National Hurricane Center says Maria is expected to be the first Category 5 hurricane to hit Puerto Rico in 85 years. Dominica's Prime Minister's house was ruined last night, and much of the island was destroyed. In the capital city of San Juan, residents cleared store shelves of water and other supplies. A state of emergency has been declared, and President Trump has issued an emergency declaration to aid Puerto Rico with federal assistance.
A protest at Georgia Tech turns violent after a peaceful vigil for a student who was shot and killed by police. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says 21-year-old Scout Schultz was holding a multi-purpose tool, but the knife blade was not out. Schultz's father says he may have been having an emotional breakdown. A university spokesperson says 50 protesters marched to the campus police department after the vigil. One protester reportedly threw a flare into a police car, setting it on fire. 3 people were arrested and 2 officers were injured. Georgia Tech says those who were arrested were charged with encouraging a riot and battering of an officer. The victim's family encourages protesters to remain peaceful.
Seismologist Lucy Jones says last night's Los Angeles area earthquake was just too small to assign to a mapped fault. The 3.6 earthquake struck the Westwood Village last night. People reported feeling the earthquake across the Los Angeles and San Bernardino counties. Many residents said they felt a swaying motion for only a few seconds before the movement stopped.
Now let's head to the latest in business with Sun Lee.
Thank you, Jesyka. Toys R Us files for bankruptcy protection in an attempt to restructure its debts. The retailer is approximately $4.9 billion in debt. The company's CEO says he's taking the right steps to make sure the iconic toys brand will live on for many generations. Company officials say Toys R Us and Babies R Us will continue to operate as normal throughout the holiday period. The company follows all the retail chains filing for bankruptcy, including Payless, Gymboree, and True Religion Jeans.
Obamacare repeal is back on the table. Senate Republicans are pushing for a vote soon on the Graham-Cassidy bill. The bill is part of the efforts to repeal the Affordable Care Act. New Hampshire Senator Jean Shaheen says the bill would be unfair to millions of Americans.
This is a bill that would deny millions of Americans health insurance. It would mean that Medicaid, which 70 million Americans depend on in New Hampshire, the expansion of Medicaid has provided health care coverage for thousands of people, including people with substance use disorders, which is a huge challenge in New Hampshire and so much of the country. And what it would do is kick those people off of their treatment. It would wind up meaning that people with pre-existing conditions would have to pay more, or they would be denied insurance coverage. So this is just the same kind of mean-spirited effort to deny coverage to people across the country.
The Senate Finance Committee will hold a hearing on the bill early next week. Doctors at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center have developed the first eye test to detect warning signs of Alzheimer's 15 to 20 years earlier than ever. There are currently more than 5 million people living with this disease. This 20-minute test uses light to peer into the eye's retina. Clinical trials are being used in patients in the U.S. and Australia, but the test is not yet available to the general public. Chicago food scientists say an addiction to pumpkin spice is indeed possible. The popular drink contains no pumpkins, but it is often associated with holidays and family. Your body learns to recognize the smell and crave the sugary drink, which is made up of cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and clove. Experts say it's not quite the same effect related to drug addiction, but the more you consume it, the more you want it. Now let's toss it back to Sun with entertainment.
The Emmy Awards are becoming a tougher sell. The 69th Emmy Awards were watched by about 11.4 million viewers on Sunday, roughly equaling last year's number. Ratings for the Emmys have gone downhill since the Emmy was hosted by Neil Patrick Harris in 2013. One of the reasons is because younger viewers prefer to watch the award show online. Some critics say the show has become too political. The show was packed with jabs toward President Trump by host Stephen Colbert and Emmy winner Alec Baldwin. Actor and comedian Kevin Hart issued an apology to his wife and kids via Instagram after an alleged extortion attempt. Hart's representative claims someone tried to blackmail the actor using a sexually provocative video. This comes only 2 months after Hart dismissed rumors of himself cheating on his pregnant wife. TMZ reports FBI agents have found the person responsible and are investigating the failed blackmail attempt. Let's check back in with Kimberly with the latest in sports.
Thank you, Sun. For the first time this season, 70 NFL players will be wearing a newly designed helmet. Players like Russell Wilson and Alex Smith will be wearing the high-tech helmets called Vices 01. The NFL chose the helmet, created by a Seattle-based startup company, from some 30 other helmet designs. The helmets provide a softer outer shell and inner foam liner. Vice's researchers say they're not claiming the helmet will prevent concussions, but they designed it to reduce impacts on the players' heads.
With the NBA preseason beginning in less than 2 weeks, the Los Angeles Lakers are looking to the 2018 free agent class to secure this season's championship. We asked CSUN students how they feel about the Lakers' chances going into this season.
And we get to see Lonzo Ball pass the ball the way he has been in college, and hopefully LeVar can back it up a little more, but, you know, I'm excited to see what the Lakers can do.
I think the dynamic's going to change a little bit. They're young, so, you know, still in rebuilding stage, but we'll see.
I don't know. I think they might do better than last season.
I got some high hopes for the Lakers. Golden State Warriors possibly might come in and conquer, but, you know, I'm always for the underdogs.
My dad is a Laker fan. He would probably disown me if I said anything bad about the Lakers. But I think they would do pretty well. They seem to have a nice lineup this year. So I'm hoping that it all goes well so I don't have to hear my dad's mouth in the living room.
The Lakers will play their first game next Saturday against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now let's go back to the studio and hear about the weather from Jesyka.
Thank you, Lucas. It's time to bring out your scarves, boots, and pumpkin lattes because fall is almost here. Today will be partly cloudy with temperatures in the high 70s. Expect temperatures to drop to the 60s later tonight. This weekend, we will experience sunny skies with temperatures in the mid-70s to the low 60s.
Ahoy, matey. Today is International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Pirate Day was created in 1995 by John Bauer, known as Old Chum Bucket, and Mark Summers, Captain Slappy, both of Albany, Oregon. They named September 19th as a day when everyone in the world should talk like a pirate. Remember to throw in a few R's and ahoys when talking to your friends today.
That is all for the news today. I'm Jesyka Dunn.
I'm Lupe Castro.
I'm Kimberly Arenas.
And I'm Sun Lee. Thank you for watching Matador News.